about trading part-time and at night. And I want to spend some time, not necessarily, like I said, not all of our time about different strategies and systems. I'll reference a few, show you where to get more info, but I want to kind of take a step back from that because, you know, if you're trading part-time or at night, and I know a lot of you are, we have a lot of members here with us at Apex that, you know, still have full-time or part-time jobs, and they're new to trading or they're trading on the side. Their ultimate goal may be to, you know, at some point leave their jobs and depend on trading as their full-time income and livelihood, and that's their ultimate goal, but can't always start there from day one, as we know. And, you know, something I've really seen is with people that trade part-time is, you know, they're like, hey, I only have limited time to trade, and I really feel like I've got some good strategies or systems down, but I can't seem to make those strategies or systems always work for me during my limited amount of time to trade. And I'm sure you guys all feel that way or have felt that way at one particular point. And so that's kind of where we want to start tonight. It's not necessarily jumping into the different strategies and systems. I'll show you where you can get all that info easy. But it's making sure that you're, you know, focusing your time and taking advantage properly of the limited time you have. I know years back when I was first starting, I was in the same situation, and I realized I was kind of putting my energy and focus in the wrong places, and it wasn't really making the most of my limited time. So we want to start there, making sure that you're focusing on the right things and doing the right things, especially if you only have a limited time to trade. You want to make the most of it. So let's hop in and get rolling here. Let me knock out our disclosures for us. Trading futures, options, or any financial instrument involves risk, may not be suitable for every investor. Any trading decisions are your sole responsibility. Contents of this webinar are not an offer or solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any particular financial instrument offered by Nadex. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So let's just take 5 or 6 minutes here and make sure everybody is all on the same page here. If you hop on over to nadex.com, if you're brand new, you can kind of go through here and get some general information about Nadex. Basically, Nadex offers two different products. They offer binary options and spreads. We're going to talk a little bit about both of these tonight. But you can go through these tabs here, get some information about Nadex. I'll show you in a minute here where you can get some even more in-depth training and step-by-step training courses, lots of information about binaries and spreads with Nadex. But I want to make sure everybody has a free tool here and is taking advantage of that. Go to the trading tab. Second one down is demo trading platform. All you got to do is create a username, fill out some quick info, and hit submit. In a few minutes, you'll get an email from Nadex with a temporary password. You can log into a Nadex demo account. Nadex will give you a $25,000 demo account. Okay, that way you can go in there and play with it. Use some demo money to play with the platform, get familiar with the platform, get familiar with the different products that Nadex has to offer. You can see those here on the left-hand side, binaries and spreads. We're going to talk about some of those tonight, but get familiar with the platform, entering and exiting orders, kind of play with it, test out new strategies and systems. You know, if you're brand new to trading, you know, definitely make sure that you're utilizing the demo trading platform and using your demo money to test out anything new and learn, as opposed to your live money. Obviously a much cheaper way to educate yourself there. Once you have mastered your strategy or system and you've got it mastered in demo and you're consistently profitable in demo, then you can move over to live, master it in live, and be profitable in live. And once you've got that down and confident, then add on another strategy or system. Follow the same thing. Master it in demo, move it into live. Something you'll hear us talk a lot about is having more than one play in your playbook, having multiple strategies, because the markets don't always behave the same way every single day or every single night. Some days are big trending days where the market's going way up or down hundreds of points, and you can use a trending system, okay? And this is one of the biggest things to keep in mind when you're a part-time trader is, you know, you've only got a couple hours, say, or certain limited time. And let's say that the only thing you know how to do is a trending strategy, but during those couple hours you have to trade, the market's not trending. The market's flat, it's range bound, and you don't know how to trade it. So you feel like, hey, I've got this one system and it's great, but you know, I trade part-time 4 days a week, and only 1 day a week can I even take advantage of it. Okay, well, I'm going to show you tonight a couple different strategies that you can use that will help you there. Trending strategies, volatile, choppy day strategies, and flat range-bound strategies. And over time, you want to be able to incorporate all three of those, okay? That way you can take advantage of the market conditions no matter what that condition is. That way, with the limited time you have to trade, no matter what the market condition is, you know how to trade it. But what you don't want to do is learn all three of those at once, or learn 10 different systems at once and spend all your time and weeks and months learning all that. A lot of people think, okay, I have to learn and know everything in order to do anything. And that is not the case at all. You want to start with one, start in demo, master it, move over to live. Once you've got that, and you're profitable in live, start learning another one, pop it in demo, add it to live. You're slowly building into your playbook. You don't have to know them all to do anything, but start with one and move forward from there. So if you don't have a Nadex demo account, make sure to hop on, even right now while we're on the webinar, hop on and grab one of those, take advantage of that free tool, and again, use that to get familiar with it and test out anything new. Okay. Now, Nadex is the exchange. My name is John Skelton. I'm with apexinvesting.com. Apex and Nadex, completely different companies, completely separate from each other. Okay. Apex, we're an online community of traders helping traders. We're an education company. I'm going to show you here where you can get literally hundreds of hours of free education about trading in general and about Nadex. If you go over to apexinvesting.com, click here to join free now. It'll let you create a free username and password. That'll get you a free basic membership to our site. And once you have that username and password, you can log right in. And I'm going to show you several things here. Somebody already asked, hey, is this webinar being recorded? Yes, it is. And I'm going to show you where you can get this recording, as well as recordings to other webinars as well. Okay. A lot of information on the site. Don't be overwhelmed here. Let me just take you to a couple different places. First of all, right here under the Education tab, all right, you'll see right here this iZone Sharpshooter course. You're going to hear me reference that tonight, okay? And then right here under Additional Education, Other Courses, you'll see a lot of courses in here, okay? Basics of binaries, basics of spreads, binary strangle, binary butterfly. We're going to be talking about some of these tonight, and I'll reference this again. But these are places where you can go and absolutely free watch step-by-step training courses on several different systems for Nadex binaries and Nadex spreads. And this is where you can get the information of, you know, when you're adding into your playbook. All right. This is where you can go to get more information about trending strategies, range-bound strategies, and so on. We'll reference more of that here in a minute. Another important place right here. If you ever have any questions at all, you can go right here to Help Desk, submit a Help Desk ticket. We can answer any questions for you, get you on track, direct you to the right, free videos or free training courses for you to learn and answer any questions. Second one down, Trading Questions Forum. This is a big one here that you really want to know where to find it and what is in here. We have a really big forum. It's broken down into different sections. You'll see S1, Section 1, Section 2. A lot of information about trading psychology, risk management, learning all the different underlying markets, how those markets work. If you scroll down here to S10 systems, again, you can go through all our different systems here, step-by-step training courses, screenshots, written out, rules for entries and exits, forum discussion back and forth between traders that are trading these. And a little further down here, you'll get to a section that says Watch Webinars Here. All right, this first tab there, Newest Webinars. That is where tonight's webinar will be uploaded here in just a little bit after we're done. If you've missed the past few weeks of webinars, you can just click this and you can go through. We do these webinars for Nadex every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can go through and catch up on any you might have missed. Last week, for example, Nadex Monday webinars, we covered binary strangles and butterflies. I know a lot of you were on with us for that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about strangles and butterflies tonight, just referencing it quickly, but you can go back and watch this webinar if you want to have a more in-depth understanding of them, okay? And you can go back and you can see all these different webinars here and the dates and so on. Okay. But anyway, you can catch up on any webinars you might have missed there. Also in that same section, you'll see a whole library of education here. Nadex binary webinars, Nadex spread webinars. If you're a Nadex binary trader, you can hop in here and you'll see all kind of webinars. Strangles and butterflies, reversal and scalp trading, trading 5-minute binaries. If you're kind of new to binaries, we're not going to really cover the basics tonight, but you can go right here, Nadex Binaries 101, choosing the right binaries. All kind of just a wealth of information there about Nadex binaries. The same here on Nadex spreads. If you're trading spreads, click right here on the Nadex spreads webinars, and the same thing. A few weeks ago, we covered the basics of Nadex spreads, common misconceptions, all kind of different information there. Okay, yeah, that's where you'd ask a question there. Guys, feel free to ask questions as we go along through here tonight. I'm going to try to keep us on track because I don't want to run over. So if I don't answer your question right away, I'm not ignoring you here. I'm just trying to keep us on track. Some of your questions I may answer in the next section. I just don't want to hold it up, stopping every few minutes for a question. I want to get the information out for everybody. And then at the end, if I need to stay on a little longer to catch up on some questions after we've got through our subject matter here, I can definitely do that for you. Okay, so hop on over to, make sure to get on nadex.com, get your free demo account there, and hop on apexinvesting.com. Take advantage of all the free education there. We've also got a section here of free tools. We've got some scanners for Nadex binaries and spreads, some free deviations that can be charted on a plot or plotted on a chart for you. And right here, a news trading plan. Let me just show you this real quick. I'm going to reference this a little bit here more in a minute, but I have a complete news trading plan so you know what news is coming out. And we'll get back to that in a second here because I'm going to cover that here in just a moment. So make sure to take advantage of those tools there. So also hop on over to, while you're at it, hop on over to facebook.com/apexinvesting. Like us and follow us on Facebook. A lot of great information here you can keep up to date with. Any new trading strategies or systems, great news articles, any upcoming news events you need to know about, webinars that are coming up, recordings of webinars, just a great place to keep up with anything that you might need there and any new free tools that are available to you. Okay, so once you hop on over to Facebook and you like our page, click on the little button there that says liked after you've liked us, and that'll open up a drop-down box and put right here, get notified of all posts. Otherwise, you may not get notified of all posts as far as upcoming news or webinars or any free tools. So make sure to click all posts. That way you get your notifications. So tonight, let's jump in here. We're going to talk about nighttime markets and part-time markets. What can I trade at night? What can I trade during the day? What can I trade part-time? What are the best instruments to trade with? And why would news be important? So like I said, we're not going to review full details of the basics of binaries and spreads tonight. I showed you where you can get that. As far as strategies and systems that I cover here, we're not going to really jump into a long, explanation or Q&A of those. I'm going to show you where you can get that information. Okay, I just want to open your eyes to a few things and kind of have you take a step back and look at your trading and your trading schedule a little bit differently here. So, showed you where you can get some good information there. Let's talk about part-time. Like I mentioned, part-time traders, a lot of times new traders, still have full-time jobs or still have part-time jobs. They're not trading full-time. They're not sitting at home at their desk in front of their computer screens for 8 hours a day, trading 20 different markets and, have time all day long to be able to watch the computer, watch charts, monitor long-term trades. They're not doing that yet. They ultimately may want to do that, but also that's not always the goal of trading. Even trading part or full-time is not always to have the time to sit there for 12 hours a day to trade. We talk about, part-time traders only have a few hours. Well, I also know that a lot of our full-time traders that don't have full-time jobs normally only trade a couple of hours a day. All right, they're picking their strategies or systems, they're picking their instrument, they watch those instruments for a set amount of time and they're done. I mean, that kind of is the ultimate goal of trading if you think about it. For those of you that want to quit your job and trade full time, well, ultimately you probably still when you do that, only want to trade a few hours a day. You're not necessarily looking to trade for 8 or 12 hours a day in front of the computer, right? So first of all, keep that in mind. Some people think, oh, I don't have the advantage that other people have because I can only trade a couple hours a day. Well, most of the best traders I know are still only trading a couple hours a day, even when they're full-time. But when you're starting off and you're truly part-time and maybe you have another job, maybe you can only trade during the evening time after you get home from work. Or we have a lot of traders that get up earlier before work and they'll trade for a couple hours early morning. Or some that trade on lunch breaks just a little bit during the day. And for these types of traders, long-term trading strategies are not necessarily ideal, right? You know, trades that last weeks or trades that last days, even trades that last hours and hours are not necessarily ideal for these types of traders because they don't have the time to sit there and monitor them all day. These part-time traders are looking for, hey, I work 8 to 5, I got to get the kids, I got to run errands, got to do dinner. You know, I can't get on till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I really only have a couple hours at night to trade. But sometimes I feel like I sit down for a couple hours a night and I'm just sitting there like nothing's happening. Or maybe I'm watching this one chart and then I realize I missed something on another chart. Or one night the market's moving, one night it's not. I'm taking this time away, but I don't feel like I'm being very productive during that time. Okay, and that's kind of where I want to address tonight. This is not necessarily a strategy or system webinar, but it's, hey, are you really taking advantage properly of that limited time that you have? And if that's you, if you're brand new, you've got limited time and maybe even a limited account, a small account you're starting off with, Nadex Binaries or spreads may be the perfect answer for you because you can get going with a very small account. All products on Nadex have capped limited risk. Okay, your margin is your risk amount, and the margins are very low. And you've got short-term expirations on binaries and spreads, even if you only have a couple hours to trade. All right, at night, you can trade U.S. indices. U.S. indices and commodities are open at night. There are spreads available on them and daily binaries. But let's think about this for a minute. Right now, for example, it's 7:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, any time frame you ever see listed on the Nadex website as far as expiration times is all in Eastern Time. All right, but the U.S. indices and commodities meaning, oil, gold, copper, silver, and so on, those don't normally move a whole lot at night, do they? But at 9:30, 10 o'clock, a.m., when the U.S. markets are just opened up, and when the gold and oil markets just opened up in the U.S., a lot of movement sometimes on those in the mornings, right? But at night, if you're a nighttime trader, I've talked to people that are like, well, hey, I really like the NASDAQ. I hear a lot about the NASDAQ, or I hear a lot about the S&P. So I get on at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and the S&P is not hardly moving at all. Well, no, because it's 8 o'clock at night Eastern Time. A lot of times you're not going to get big moves on the U.S. stock indexes or commodities because it's nighttime. Now, if you were to be trading that at 9:30 a.m. in the morning on those U.S. indices when the markets are open, hey, you might get hundreds of points of move, right? Okay, so that's the first biggest mistake I've seen. Is part-time traders at night, for example, are watching things that are basically not trading. They're not moving, okay? So the U.S. indices and commodities don't move a whole lot at night. Now, Europe doesn't move a whole lot in the early evening, okay? But let's talk about like this time of night. Say you're trading at 7 or 8, 9 o'clock at night. What markets are open? If you've got limited time, only a couple hours that you're taking away from your evening and your family and your life, do you want to utilize those couple hours to look at a chart that's just not doing anything because that market is basically closed? Or do you want to be looking at and focusing your time on the markets that are moving, where you might actually get something going on? Well, right now, this time of night, The US markets are not moving much. Europe has not opened yet. But does anybody know, and I'm sure several of you can answer that, what markets around the world are open or about to be open here around this time? Let's say you're trading 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 Eastern time in the evening. Yes, exactly. Japan, all right, and Australia. Michelle's got it, right? Australia and Japan. Those are the two markets that are open. It's morning time there. Now, that doesn't mean that no other markets are going to move, okay? But those are the markets that are open right now. Yes, there's other worldwide markets that are open, but as far as what's on Nadex, okay, it's Australia and Japan. So if I'm trading during these hours, okay, what do I want to be looking at? Let's take a look here real quick. So what can I trade if I'm on Nadex trading right now? All right, well, indices, which is stock indexes, these bottom four, US Tech, US 500, small cap, Wall Street, those are the US stock indexes. That's the Dow, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P, right? Well, those aren't really moving much right now, okay? Now, we know that the Japanese markets are open, so I could trade Japan 225, the Nikkei, right? Now, you do have to have some special data feeds to get live chart data on that if you're using like a non-Nadex chart. But Japan is open. Mainly at night, I'm looking at the Forex markets. Nadex has 10 different Forex pairs that can be traded. We've got binaries and spreads on those, okay? So if I'm trading right now, okay, what am I looking at here? Yeah, Michelle's got it. Right. At this time of night, she's going to mainly be looking at what? Aussie dollar and pound dollar. So let's take a look here. I've got Aussie yen, which what? Both of those markets are open right now, right? That's a good one to look at. Aussie dollar, all right? We've got the Australian dollar compared to the euro dollar, or to the US dollar, okay? I've got pound yen, which is a yen pair, which is, again, you know, the Japanese market's open. And I've got dollar yen. So if I'm only trading a couple hours at night, and that's all I've got, and I talk to people all the time that do this, is they're like, oh, I've heard that sometimes, you know, or in the past, this certain pair has moved a lot. Heard a lot on the news about the franc, you know. Well, so I'm going to open a dollar franc chart and a euro pound, because I heard that, you know, the euro's really big and, you know, one of the highest traded currencies, and the pound is good. So I'm going to watch the euro pound and the dollar franc. And then they wonder why they're sitting there with not a lot of action going on every night. Okay? Because those markets are not really open or moving. I mean, does that make sense? They're just not open or moving. What about the US dollar compared to the Canadian dollar? Well, us and Canada are pretty much all in the same different time zones. We're both closed. There's nothing going on. Does that make sense? So they wonder why they're not getting any movement during this limited time. So if I'm trading early evening, I want to look at the yen pairs and the Aussie pairs predominantly. Okay, so yeah, Aussie yen, Aussie dollar, euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen. So that's still what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pairs I can watch, 5 different charts I can be watching. Okay, so there is actually quite a bit of opportunity there. Okay, because I can take into account, you know, the US market, the Japanese market, the euro, the Aussie. Okay, so those are going to be the pairs that I want to be looking at if I'm trading early evening. Okay, because I want to make the most of my time with the limited time that I have, and I want to be watching something that's going to be moving. So that's the first thing that for some of you might be very elementary, but for new traders, they don't always know that or take that into account. So that's the first step, is to make sure to take the most amount of your time, focus your energy on what is moving, okay? Next thing, you want to always be aware of news events. It's another big thing that some traders, especially new traders, don't always take into account. Especially with new traders, hey, I'm focused on this limited amount of time, and I'm so focused on learning my new strategy or system and trying to get the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s down of the rules, and I'm watching this chart, and I'm not really taking a step back to look at the overall picture, look at the overall market and what is going on. I don't always think about saying, hey, is there anything going on tonight? Is there any news events coming out that might cause the markets to go a little crazy? Do I need to be aware of these news events? What if I'm in a binary trade? You know, it's 7:30 right now, right? And, you know, what if I was, you know, in the dollar yen, and let's say I bought a binary that expired at 9 p.m. So my strategy or system told me market's going up. So I bought a binary saying the market's going up. And I've got an hour and a half left till expiration. Cool, market still looks like it's going up, great. But hey, I didn't check to realize that at 8 o'clock tonight, just as an example, there's a big news event coming out on something to do with the Japanese market or Japanese banks or interest rate or whatever. For you guys that are trading, last Thursday night, I believe? Yeah, last Thursday night, the Bank of Japan announced all this stuff about their negative interest rates, and within a matter of like minutes, some of the FX markets moved hundreds of points, hundreds of pips, just in a matter of minutes. So if you're in a trade and you've still got an hour and a half out, don't you think you might want to know if there's a news event coming out at 8 o'clock or at 8:30 that can affect you and have like a major impact? You know what I mean? So you need to make sure that you're aware of that news. So where can you get some of that? Okay, well, let's take a look here. If you hop on over to, and I want to take you back over here to the Apex website, okay? If you hop on over to the Apex website, there's a bunch of different, you know, you can go online, there's a bunch of different, you know, news outlets you can look at. You know, I mean, I know some people look at certain things on CNN and Fox News. You can use Forex Factory. Yeah, Paul brought up Forex Factory if you're looking at Forex. But if you're here on the Apex website, go right here to the Access Free Tools. Go right here to News and the News Trading Plan. Now, obviously, this calendar here, this is not every single news event that's coming out this week or every single news announcement. But what we normally put on this calendar, and this is a free tool that you have access to with your free username and password. What we do for this particular calendar here is we put on here again, it's not every single news announcement, but it's the ones that we think you need to be the most aware of, okay? Or the ones that historically, a lot of times there's little news press releases and, you know, and this chairman or chairperson is speaking over here or there, and some of those events don't always affect the market, okay? They're not always tradable events necessarily, okay, that have big impacts on the market. So what we put on this news trading plan are things that we think you need to be aware of, or things that historically do make a move on the market. And if you look through here at some of these different days and different announcements, some of these just say be aware, okay? Like for example, like if we just click this one, it says be aware, all right? It just says, hey, be aware that the French employment levels news is coming out Monday at 3:15. Okay, well, why is that there then? You know, there's not some kind of trade plan mentioned there. There's not a historical plan mentioned there of how much it moves the market. Well, that's not necessarily historically a tradable event, but it doesn't mean that you know, announcement can't have a little bit of effect on the market. So we just want you to be aware. Well, how is that? Why do I need to be aware? How do I use that? Well, again, let's say that you're in a binary trade. Say you bought this binary right here, for example, okay? And what are you buying here? What is a binary? It's a statement, right? What is this statement? the dollar yen will be greater than 120.96 at 9 p.m. That's the statement you're buying. Okay, well then why do I want to be aware of some news event that doesn't historically have a huge move on the market, or there's not necessarily a historical trading, value behind it? Well, maybe this news event's not going to affect the market by 100 pips, or maybe it's not even going to affect it by 20 or 30 pips. Maybe it's not huge impact, but maybe it can have a little bit of an impact. Maybe it moves the market 5 or 10 pips. You think, no big deal. But when you're talking about binaries, if you bought this binary here saying the market would be above 120.96, and this news announcement would come out and it causes the market to go down just 2 or 3 pips, what happens if the market expires at 120.95? You were just wrong by 1 pip, or even 1/10 of a pip. Well, on a binary, that's all or nothing, right? 1 pip, 1/10 of a pip can cause the difference between a win and a loss. So let's say you're in a binary trade. Let's say you went in here and you bought this binary for right here for 48 bucks, thinking the market's going up, and the market is going up. And let's say your binary is going up in value. You bought it for 50 bucks. It's now worth like 75 bucks. So you're up $25 in profit. But pretty quick here, there's a news announcement coming out that might affect the dollar or the yen. Well, you don't know if that news announcement is going to be positive or negative, make the market go up or down. What happens if it causes the market to go down and this binary would have lost and you would have lost 50 bucks? Would you rather not just close it out right then and just take the $25 profit that you're at, as opposed to risking losing it all? That's just an example of why you'd want to know of these, hey, be aware, this is happening. That way you can tighten up your stops, be aware of what trades you have out there. Do you maybe want to close something earlier or move a stop up? Just be aware. Because again, when it comes to binaries, just a 1/10 of a tick can mean all the difference, okay? So, but you also go through and you can see through here, it's, there's different be awares, news reports coming out, earnings reports. Some of these here, you'll see it like here, it says iron condor. These reports are being released here. We're looking to find an iron condor on the euro dollar, entering as early as 7 a.m. with an expiration at 9 a.m. Minimum profit of $25 per iron condor. Well, iron condor is a trade we do with Nadex spreads, for example, okay? And I'm not going to get into that tonight, but if you scroll down here, right below there, step-by-step iron condor. So if anybody asks, hey, well, do you want to know what's an iron condor? You can watch the video right there, okay? So you know what an iron condor is, and you can see where there's sometimes trades here where iron condors are, good trades to look at. So the point is, these news events that we have on here, some are just be aware, some there's different types of, trade examples from the past or whatever. But what I really want to get to here is, if I can only trade a couple hours a night, and let's say that I can only trade a couple of days a week. Well, if I want to make the most of my trading time, would it not maybe be wise to look ahead at the week and say, hey, okay, what is going on? Are there any what night has news events coming out? What days or nights don't have news events coming out? Because if there's a couple nights a week where there's nothing going on, could I expect that those might be slower nights? And do I really want to pick those nights as the nights I sit in front of a chart and watch it? Do I want those nights to be the nights I take time away out from my family and my other life to just sit and look at a chart and nothing going on? Or do I maybe want to say, all right, I can trade at night, and let's see here. Monday night, what's going on? Well, we do have some Aussie news coming out tonight at 10:30, but I don't trade that late. So, maybe I do trade that late, or maybe, hey, that doesn't really fit into my 7 to 9 schedule at night, or whatever it may be. What about Tuesday night? All right, well, there's some Aussie stuff coming out from between 7 and 9. All right, maybe that's a good evening for me to trade. Wednesday night, 7:30, some other Aussie news coming out, okay? What about Thursday? And you can see what is going on which days, all right? If we pull up last week's, for example, let's see here. All right, like last Monday, for example. Okay, that was an Aussie bank holiday, so nothing's going to be going on much there. It's not really any Japanese news Monday night going on here. Maybe I don't want to trade Monday night. Maybe that's, not something I want to do. Oh, look at last Wednesday. See here, we've got some Japanese retail sales stuff coming out. We've got some Aussie import prices coming out. So maybe I don't want to sit and trade Monday night. Maybe I want to say, all right, Wednesday night's the night I want to trade. And oh, look at Thursday. We've got various reports on the Japanese markets. We've also got the JPY monetary policy statement, which is the one that moved the market really big last week. And we've got some Aussie stuff coming out, which has okay, Wednesday and Thursdays are probably those nights I want to be on there. All right. Does that make sense? I mean, that might seem elementary to some of you guys, but a lot of times when new traders are starting off part-time, they just think, okay, well, I want to trade these certain nights. And hey, I remember last night I was on this one night and things were going great and market was moving, but oh, another night I got on and it wasn't. So depending on your strategy or system, you might want to use those nights to trade. Now, some of you might say, hey, I was on your webinar last week when you were talking about those binary butterflies, where we're buying and selling binaries at the same time, and we want the market to stay flat and not move. I like that. So I might like trading on nights where there's no news. So I want to look for the nights when there's no news, hoping the market will stay flat, because I want to use that strategy. Or, hey, I really like my trend strategy where the market is moving. I can trade that. So I want to trade on nights where there is news. So we'll talk about some different strategies here in a little bit, but depending on what strategies you're starting with and you're using, paying attention to this news calendar, for one, really lets you know what's coming up, gives you a heads up to be aware of should I be in this trade or not, and helps you maximize and focus your limited time in picking the nights that you want to take the time to trade. If you can't trade every night, you want to trade the best nights potentially possible to fit your schedule and your strategy. So again, take advantage of this, be aware of it. It's a free tool for you to use every week and help you plan out those times. Because I know that's, like I said, a huge thing that I've talked to a lot of people about, and this kind of is like an aha moment of, oh, okay, I seem to just be trading on the wrong nights, and I don't understand why some nights are busy or some not. And then sometimes I'm sitting there watching a chart on the, dollar yen, for example, and then boom, it just takes off and starts moving, and I'm just like, what happened? What happened? Well, you didn't know that this was coming out. You didn't know that this was coming out. And if you know it ahead of time, you could be aware of it. Okay? So make sure to take advantage of this news trading plan. Okay? And it's a news trading calendar that's totally free for you. Okay? Callum, do we have a time zone setting that is changeable? Not sure exactly what you mean by that. I recommend any of you that are trading to always have your computer set to Eastern time, because that is what all of Nadex charts and Nadex expiration times are. I'm in Central Time, for example. I'm in Texas, but all of my computers and everything is set to Eastern Time to make sure everything lines up there. Okay? So make sure to be aware of news, something you need to know about, something you need to be able to plan ahead for, and be able to really focus your limited time. Okay? So let's say that I'm trading at night. Okay? What can I trade at night? Well, if we hop over here to the Nadex website, we've already talked about what the different markets are that are really available at night as far as what's moving. We've talked about early evening, the Aussie and Japanese markets being open. Not only do you have binaries, Forex binaries, Okay, but you also have Forex spreads. You can trade binaries or spreads with some of those Aussie or Japanese markets. You know, when it comes to binaries, for example, if we just go here to Forex binaries, let's just select dollar-yen. Well, you've got new binaries that open up every single hour, and then they expire 2 hours later. For example, right now, we have some binaries that opened up at 6 p.m. and they expire at 8 p.m. We have some new ones that open up at 7 p.m. They'll expire at 9. We've got some that expire at 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 11 p.m., and even some at the end of the week. So there's all kind of different binaries there to choose from. Okay, same with the spreads. There's all kind of different spreads to choose from. Even at night, you can go in here and you've got spreads, for example, that, again, it's from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., 6 to 8, 7 to 9. And then here in a few minutes, we'll have some more that go 8 to 10, or daily spreads that go to 3 p.m. tomorrow. So whether you're looking for real short time, intermediate time, or long term, there's always different binaries or spreads to choose from. Another thing that you can take advantage of that Nadex offers is called 5-minute binaries. Okay, Nadex offers 5-minute binaries on 4 different FX pairs. Okay, you can just click them right there and see the Aussie dollar, euro dollar, pound dollar, and dollar yen. What do I mean by 5-minute binaries? Well, literally just that. If you see these that are left here, boom, see there's only 6 seconds, 5 seconds left on these, and as soon as these expire, check it out, a new batch of 5-minute binaries starts. Boom, and they'll expire in 5 minutes, or well, 4 minutes and 54, 53. Every 5 minutes there's a new binary. Okay, new binary opening up and a new binary expiring. And if you notice here, like on the dollar yen, these expire at 7.50, and then there'll be some more that come open and expire at 7.55. And there's 5 different strikes here. They're all 3 ticks apart. See that? 93, 96, 99. You've got 5 different binaries, okay? And you've got 4 different markets to choose from. We've got Aussie dollar with 5 different binaries. We've got euro dollar, 5 different binaries. Pound dollar, 5 different binaries. And dollar yen. Every 5 minutes, new ones coming up. So not only at night on binaries or spreads do you have these new ones that start every hour, some that go several hours, some that go till tomorrow, the end of the day, but you've got new 5-minute binaries that expire every 5 minutes. Okay. Now, some people prefer longer term binaries, some people prefer the hourly binaries, some people prefer 5-minute binaries. 5-minute binary, yep, Michelle, you said it. 5-minute binaries move very, very fast. Okay, some people love them, some people hate them. Okay, some people like them, like they love that fast-paced, heart-racing. They're like, hey, I've only got an hour and a half to trade. I don't want to sit there waiting for an hourly expiration or a 2-hour expiration. I want to hop in there and I want to trade every 5 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. I've got 4 different markets I can watch, and every 5 minutes there's a new expiration. I just want to go in there every 5 minutes and trade, be done and out in an hour. That's what I want to do. Some people say, they move too fast for me. I want a little bit longer term. That's fine. There's not a right or wrong answer there. It's more of a personal preference of your personal, your trading personality, your trading schedule, your account balance, what strategy or system are you using. Also notice these 5-minute binaries. What are the different options? Aussie dollar and dollar yen. So the main 2 that we mentioned, as far as having other binaries and spreads, there are what? 5-minute binaries on, right? So if I'm an early evening trader and I'm looking for that quick, fast pace, a lot of opportunities, a lot of options, a lot of different binaries, what markets are open early evening? Japan and Aussie. So I've got those I could trade. We'll talk about this in a minute too. What new markets open up and start moving, say, around 2 or 3 a.m. Eastern time overseas? Well, all of the European markets, right? Which will be what? The euro and the pound. So if I'm trading early evening, I've got these 2. If I'm trading overnight, when other new markets open up that can cause some good movement in Europe, what I've got? Euro dollar and pound dollar. Perfect. And then what about 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time during the day? The US, right, which is the other currency pair in all of these. So even in the 5-minute binaries, there's always something to trade there to match up to the different markets that'll be moving at that time. Okay, so keep that in mind. You've got some great options there. Several different ways you can trade the 5-minute binaries. Okay. Ron says, why does my platform show 20-minute binaries and yours only has the 5-minute binaries? Well, the 20, actually, Ron, are you in a demo account or a live account? Also, if you hit this refresh right here button, see, I just hit it and there they go, they pop up there. Nadex does have 20-minute binaries, but the 20-minute binaries are only on, right now in live, they're only on the US indices, the US stock indices. So those are open during the daytime. Okay, you don't have the 20-minute binaries on, like, you know, the Nasdaq and the S&P at night. Okay, those are only during the daytime that you have the 20-minute binaries on those US indices. The 5-minute binaries, you have those all day and all night. They're open 23 hours a day. Okay, they're closed from like 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Otherwise, you've got 5-minute binaries 23 hours a day. Okay, so you've always got something to trade there. Doesn't matter if you're, you know, trading 20 minutes, or you're trading a couple hours at night, or you're trading a couple hours during the day or early morning, whatever it may be, you've always got something to trade there. Okay, now several different ways. Like I said, some people love the 5-minute binaries. They love how fast they are. For some people, they're too fast. But for 5-minute binaries, you can do directional trades. You can do scalp trades. They're quick in and out. You know, just for a quick example, let me just show you here. You know, one of the systems that we use on 5-minute binaries is what's called a scalping system. All right. Notice here real quick, see how these different strikes are just 3 ticks apart? Okay, see the 120.91, 120.94. Yes, you can hold a binary till expiration, or you can get in and out of a binary real quick. What do I mean by that? Well, my chart tells me that the immediate quick trend of the market is going up. So I want to buy into one of these binaries, and I just want to get 20 or 30 bucks and get out. Well, how hard is it to do that? Well, I mean, you know, if the market just moves up 3 ticks or 3 pips, which is not a big deal for the dollar yen, what is the difference here? Notice that these are all 3 pips apart. What is the difference in pricing 3 pips apart? It's a pretty big difference there, right? So if the market moves just a few pips, it's not that hard to just, hey, my strategy system's telling me the market's going up. I hop in, let it go up a few ticks, get out of it for 20 or 30 bucks. Okay, it's scalping. Okay, you can scalp these 5-minute binaries. You can hold them till expiration. There's several different systems that we use to trade these 5-minute binaries. Okay, again, the nice thing about the 5-minute binaries, yep, too fast for some people, but some people love them because there's so many opportunities. Okay, every 5 minutes, you've got 5 different binaries on 4 different markets. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so if you're interested in 5-minute binaries, we've got, like I said, we've got a couple of different systems that we use. We have our trend catcher system, which is, you know, very high paced, fast trading. You're getting in and out for these quick scalps. We have our binary hunter system, which is a little slower paced, and we're going like at the money or out of the money binaries when we, you know, see a market direction. We also have our sharpshooter system that we use for 5-minute binaries. So just real quick, if you're interested in 5-minute binaries, if you go right here to Elite Education, okay, go down here to Additional Education, come over here to Other Courses, you'll see right here, Sharpshooter, 5-minute binary trend catcher course, okay, and binary hunter. You can go and check those out. If you're interested in 5-minute binaries, you're trading part-time, again, 5-minute binaries are all night, all day, all morning, all afternoon. If that's something you want to take a look at those courses there. check them out, okay? 5-minute binary trend catcher, binary hunter, and sharpshooter. Check those out. You might like one over the other. One may fit your personality a little better. The quick scalping one may be too quick for you, but there's a couple options there for you. So for part-time traders, 5-minute binaries may be a good option. There's a couple of courses there you can check out, see how the system works, entry and exit rules, exactly what's involved with it. See if one of those works for you. It might be a good fit for your part-time trading, okay? So that's one of the ways to take advantage of 5-minute binaries there and some different systems you can check out. If you were with us last week, we talked about about strangles and butterflies. Okay, what is a strangle? I'm not going to get into it really here. I'll show you where you can get info on it. Sometimes you have those days where, hey, the market's just moving like crazy volatile. It's up, it's down, it's choppy, it's zigzaggy, it's just volatile, crazy, back and forth. It's not clearly trending up, it's not clearly trending down, but it's not flat either. It's moving. It's just not clearly moving in a certain direction. It's just going up and down, zigzaggy. And you're like, how can I trade this? It's not clearly up, it's not clearly down, it's just up, down, it's like a roller coaster. I have no idea how to trade that, because when it starts to go up, I'll buy this $80 binary thinking it's going to keep going up. Oh, then it comes right back down. Then I'll sell, and then it'll go right back up, and you just feel like you're losing, and chasing your tail because you're not sure how to trade those volatile, crazy days, right? Well, that's one of the strategies we use is what's called a strangle. All right, where we're doing out-of-the-money binaries on both sides, very low risk, no stop moving needed there, and it's a way that we can trade that type of market condition where it's moving like crazy, but we're really not sure which direction it's going. But we want to take advantage of some of these low risk, capped risk Nadex binary products and be able to take advantage of a quick spike up in the market and with an out of the money binary and get some money out of that. Okay, so whether you're trading directionally or, hey, the market's just crazy choppy, how can I trade it? You can trade it still with Nadex binaries. A lot of people think I can only trade binaries when there's big moves in the market and I know which way it's going, so I expire in the money. Not the case at all. You can still trade Nadex binaries in those crazy choppy markets, okay? Because again, if you're part-time, you only got a couple hours to trade, the market's not always going to be one condition every time you sit down to trade. Some days it may be trending, some days it may be flat, some days it may be choppy, crazy like this. So what we do is we go in on both sides with a cheap out-of-the-money binary. We buy and sell, okay? So where can you get some information on that? Again, same place here. If you're at Elite Education, Additional Education, Other Courses, right here, Binary Strangle course. Or you can go and watch the webinar from last week. Again, I'm not spending a whole lot of time on all these different strategies and systems. I'm showing you where you can get them. Just trying to help you understand that there are different options available to you here. Don't feel like you can only trade if the market's doing one thing. Okay? Over time, you have to be able to learn how to adapt to the different market conditions. So that's what we call a strangle. All right, how about a butterfly? Well, if you're on with us last week, we talked about this as well. This is a little bit different. We're doing the same thing. We're buying and selling two different binaries at the same time, but we're using in the money binaries. This is when say you're trading at night or in the morning or whatever, and the market's just flat. It's not trending up hundreds of points. It's not trending down hundreds of points, and it's not crazy, volatile, choppy. It's not going up and down like a roller coaster. It's just flat. It is not moving. And a lot of times new traders or part-time traders might think, nothing going on with the market tonight. It's flat as can be. Here's another night that I took out of my time, took a couple hours away from my life and my family to try to trade, and the market's just sitting here flat doing nothing. I cannot trade a Nadex binary in flat market. Okay? Absolutely not the case. All right, there are strategies to be trading binaries in total flat markets. And they can be very profitable strategies when the market's just flat. And what we're doing there is when the market is just flat, we're buying and selling a binary at the same time for the market to expire in the middle of those two binaries. What do I mean by that? Well, quick example here, and then I'll just show you where you can get some info. But let's just say that we were pulling up the euro dollar, expiring tonight at 9 o'clock. Okay. Well, if I was to buy this binary right here at 108.90, if I was to buy this, where's the market now? 0894. So if I buy this binary, I'm saying the market will expire above 0890. Right now it's at 0894. So it's already above, right? So if the market's totally flat and stays right where it is, and I buy this binary, and at expiration the market stays right where it is, this binary will win and be worth $100, correct? Yes, right? What about this binary right here? The euro dollar to be greater than 0898. And let's say that I sell that binary saying no, the market will stay below 0898. And I sell it for 27 bucks. And the market expires below 0898. Well, this binary will win, right? Where's the market right now? 0895. So it's already below it. So if I sold this binary for 29 and the market stayed below, I'd make 29. If I sold this one for 86 and it stayed above, I'd make 14. I would win on both sides as long as the market stayed in between these two binaries, right? Well, that's what's called a butterfly, all right? And we talk about that in last week's webinar, and I'll show you where to get some more information about that. So when the markets are totally flat, there is a strategy we can do. We buy one below the market, sell one above the market. As long as it expires in between the two, we can win on both. So there are ways to trade those crazy up and down choppy times. There are ways to trade the totally flat times, okay? And the totally flat times, that is what we call a binary butterfly. So once again, if you're here on the Apex website, go to Elite Education, additional education, right? Boy. Right there, binary butterflies, okay? So again, that's where you can get some more information right down there, binary butterflies. So you kind of see here what I'm getting at is even trading part-time, you first of all want to make sure that you're trading the right instruments, the markets that are actually moving. Secondly, look at the news calendar and look at the nights where there is news or something coming out that may have an effect on the market, if that's your strategy or system. And make sure that over time you're learning different strategies that can adapt to the different market conditions, whether it be trending, whether it be flat, or whether it be volatile. Now, we've been talking about Nadex binaries mainly, okay? You can also trade spreads as a part-time trader. A lot of times when people think of spreads, they think, oh, spreads take time. It could be hours and hours that I'm going to trade. You know, it takes a long time to do a spread trade. Well, that's not always the case, okay? And like I showed you earlier with spreads, you can hop on and just even look right now. You know, Forex spreads, you've got spreads that go from 6 to 11, 7 to 9, 8 to 10. You've got 2-hour spreads. You've got a spread that goes all the way to tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. There's always different spreads that you can trade. So you can trade spreads as well. All right, you don't have to trade all day. Trades can be fast. All right, even if you're trading at night. I think I've got some charts open here. I mean, for example, this is what's the date on this? From a couple of days back. I mean, the pound dollar. Don't let this chart overwhelm you. This is one of our trend trading systems, for example, where we're looking. It's called our eye zone sharpshooter system. When we're coming down to these green eye zones. And then right here, everything turns green. We've got these indicators are green, this indicator green, got our green arrows up. Boom, we're taking a trade up, taking it up. This is one of our preferred methods to trade Nadex spreads. All right, if I was to get into this spread trade right here, what was the price over here on the right? You see it? get in about what, 42.77. We're taking it all the way up here to 43.19. Okay, well, on a Nadex spread, that's what, $1 a tick, right? So from what, 77 up to 19, 25, 35, 40 something bucks. Now, look at the timing on this. Well, got in this trade at what, about 4:30, got out of the trade up here at about 6 o'clock, an hour and a half, right? So there's 40 bucks on a spread. That's one spread, 40 bucks. I can do 2 spreads, 10 spreads, whatever. 10 spreads would have been 400 bucks. Right after that, we've got a trade going down. See, this is our short entry. That was at, see the time frame, 6:06. That trade came down here and lasted till 6:58, less than an hour. All right, that would have been enough. That would have been what, 20 pips there or whatever. That's on pound dollar, for example. Even during the daytime, some of you are daytime traders. Look, here's a long trade set up. Okay, see this? Down here at one of these long I zones, everything green. Look at the time, 9:51. We got out of the trade here about 10:29, 30 minutes. All right, how many pips was that? 341 to 381, about 40 ticks there. 40 bucks on one spread, 400 on 10 spreads. Here's another trade that lined up just a little after that, a short trade. Started at what, 11:24, got out of it at 12:03. 30 minutes there for another, about 20 pips there. Okay, I mean, we can go on and on here. There's another short. See it going down. I can go on and on. That's pound dollar. What do we got here? What about pound yen? Here we go. Here's at night. 7:30 at night. We go long. See, we're coming off the green eyes. Everything's green. Taking this all the way up to here. That was at what? From 1900 to 2038. Okay, for what, 0.90, about 20 ticks there. So 20 bucks on a spread, $200 on 10 spreads, or however many you're trading. A little while later at night, 21.49. What is that? 9:49. Stayed in this trade all the way till a little after midnight if you wanted to, for what, 0.32, for about 30 ticks there, 30 bucks on a spread, or however many you're doing. Here in the middle of the night, see, getting into that 2 or 3 o'clock range when Europe's opening up and the pound's starting to move, right? A nice long trade here going all the way up. What is that? 54, about 50 pips there. And then a short trade coming down here. See, some of these trades don't last that long. Okay? Some of them don't last that long. And a lot of people think, oh, if I trade spreads, I got to trade all day. No, you don't. A lot of these trades, just 30 or 40 minutes, you're in and out. I mean, sometimes less than that. I mean, look at here in the middle, middle of the night, how it moves. There's another one at 5 a.m. For those of you that get up early, 5 a.m. Look at this short trade. Started at 5:49, got out of it at 6:50. Less than an hour, there's what, 29 to 30, 40, 55 pips right there. That's 55 bucks on one spread. If you had 5 spreads, 250 bucks just on that one trade. All right, even during the daytime. I mean, look at this one. Started at 8:48. Come up here, we probably got out of it at 9:04, like just 20 minutes. I mean, these are just some quick examples. There's another short trade coming down, lasted at what, 9:26, got out of it at 9:46. Some of you may not understand some of these rules. I'll show you where you can get that. But I mean, there's just trade after trade after trade here. There's another one at 10 o'clock that morning, 10:26 till 10:41, 20 minutes. Look at this one coming short. That was a nice trade there. 11:10, got out of it at 50 minutes later at 12 o'clock for what, 33, 45 pips there, 45 bucks on that spread. I mean, on and on and on. There's these quick trades you can see here. Here's another one the next night at what, 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. Going till what, 9 something, and for another 40 pip. I mean, that's on the pound yen. I mean, what if you're watching the pound yen and the euro yen and the Aussie dollar, and you had several of these charts up at night? Even if there's not crazy big hundreds of point moves on everything, you've got several of these you're watching, and okay, boom, there's a short spread trade. Let me hop into that for 40 bucks. And Oh, here's a long trade. Let me hop into that one for 40 bucks. And over here on the pound, that was pound yen. Over here on pound dollar, here's a trade at midnight. Or you get my point here. I mean, here's a quick trade up. You don't have to have a ton of movement. You don't have to have hundreds of points of move. You don't have to have hours of time, even with Nadex spreads. What is this, Euro Yen? What time are these? This is at night as well here. There's a quick short trade there, 22 at 1040. Look at that. That's a nice trade there. 1040 went all the way till, what, almost 11 o'clock for 70 ticks or 70 bucks on one spread. You can have a few of these different charts open, even at night on these Forex pairs, whether you're doing this kind of trending system or whether you're doing, scalping, or whether you're doing, range bound. But I mean, see, that trade came down there, 70 ticks. This one went up here, lasted, what, 10 minutes? You got 15, 20 ticks out of that. There's another short trade that you got, well, I don't know, 05, 25 ticks. There's tons of opportunity. I can go on and on this, and that's just jumping between a few different charts there. And those trades I showed you were nighttime trades. None of those were, I don't think any of those were 9 a.m. Eastern time, early morning trades. I mean, some of these are at night. You can trade spreads or binaries, even these quick trades at night. All right, so not only can you do binaries part-time, you can also do spreads part-time. Just depends on what strategy or system you're using there. That particular strategy I was showing you there, some of you were asking about that, about, hey, what are those arrows and charts and all that? Don't have time to get into that in depth, but if you're on the Apex website here, go right here to Elite Education, and this one right here. That system's called our iZone Sharpshooter system. Here at Apex, that is our preferred premier system to trade in Nadex spreads. We trade Nadex spreads with that all day and night. It's great. It's super easy. It's a great trending system as well. So, kind of what I showed you here was, we talked about making sure you're trading the right instruments at the right time. Take your limited time and trade the right days of the week, but then also realize that over time you have to build your playbook. You can't just have a trending system or just have this kind of system. But I'm showing you there that even trading part-time just in a couple hours, you can trade strangles with crazy volatile markets. You could trade butterflies with flat markets, or you could trade directionally with Nadex binaries or spreads with whatever your trend trading strategy might be. Okay, and you can hop in with those Nadex spreads and get $20 or $30, get $20 or $30, just over and over and over again, even with a limited time, watching a couple of different markets, just getting in and out. There's a ton of opportunity there for you, even trading part-time. Okay, so let me see here. Let me just check on some questions here. Yeah, Ron, Mike, yeah, all those questions there about the bars and arrows can be answered there in that section there I showed you for right here under iZone Sharpshooter. Okay, Robert, you can check some of that out here. Can I get Forex coach with that? Can I just add that to here and Charles, if you're trading the Nadex, okay, you don't have to have a separate Forex account. You can just trade Nadex, the Forex pairs right there on Nadex, either trading binaries or spreads. Okay, you just need to get a good, if you already have NinjaTrader charting like I was using there, you just need to make sure you have Forex data feeds, which you can actually get absolutely free. Just go right here to this Getting Started with Ninja, and I show you in there how to get Forex data for free. And you can use it just like I was showing you there, on Nadex charts, on your basic Nadex charts, no problem. Okay, Abdul, yes, yeah, the quick scalp on the 5-minute binaries, that is the trend catcher system. Yes. Okay, so What about trading during the day? Okay. It's the same thing. You can use the same exact, a lot of what we've been talking about here is trading at night. Well, hey, I trade part-time, but I trade during the day, whether that's early morning before work or early morning like 9 to 11 or on lunch break. It's the same thing. You can still trade those different types of systems, whether it's strangles for volatile markets, butterflies for range-bound markets, or trend trading. You can still trade the same that you would trade part-time at night. Just you have a lot more options during the day because you still have the 5-minute binaries during the day. You also have the 20-minute binaries that are open on the U.S. stock indices. You can trade those. You've still got plenty of Forex pairs that are moving. You've got, the U.S. stock indices that are moving. You've got commodities that are open, gold and oil and all that. Yeah, Woody, you can ask a question there. You've got your daily binaries and spreads, intra-hour binaries and spreads, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, just for example, on one lunch hour, let's say you take your lunch hour from 12 to 1, okay? Well, during the daytime, when you've got, I mean, think about this. During the daytime, when you've got these four U.S. stock indices that are open, you've got weekly binaries on them, you've got daily binaries on them, and you've got intra-hour binaries on all of these. You've also got 20-minute binaries every 20 minutes on these four indices. You've got all your different spreads. You've got Forex binaries on all of these different markets here, with hourly binaries. You've got all your commodity binaries, copper, corn, oil, gold, natural gas, soybeans, silver. You've also got Bitcoin, underlying events. You've got 5-minute binaries expiring every 5 minutes. Just on a typical day, a lunch hour, you've got 80 different options just in that hour. You've got 80 different expirations just in 1 hour, okay, on just binaries. That's not even talking about spreads. That's just binaries. So again, even with a limited time, if you have some good strategies and systems, you're trading the right markets at the right hours and really focusing your time, you've got a ton of opportunity, morning, noon, or night, Nadex binaries or Nadex spreads, to be able to still have good opportunities as a part-time trader with limited time, okay? And you don't have to have hours and hours and sit in front of a chart all day. You've still got plenty of options just in an hour or two, whether you're trading 5 minutes, 20 minutes, directional trading, or spread trading. Okay, so once again, if you're here on the Apex website, because I'm getting a few questions here. If you're on the Apex website, again, go to Elite Education. If you're interested in learning about trend trading, go to the iZone Sharpshooter course. That's our premier system that we use for Nadex spreads. If you go right here to additional education, other courses, this will walk you through some different binary courses, strangles, butterflies, 5-minute courses, and so on. And that's all free. Okay, you can go in there and watch these step-by-step videos, get familiar with the systems, see which one you prefer that best fits your schedule, your trading personality. Get familiar with it. Take advantage of these free tools. Make sure to check out this free education. Get the free Nadex demo account as well to be able to test some things out. Okay. A couple of you are asking about, let's see here. Woody, if you go right here, if you're on the Apex website, go right here to the help desk and go right here to this first option, submit a new ticket. Okay. You can shoot me an email or a ticket message right there, okay? And just put it attention, John, it'll come to me. So yeah, what if you want to send an email to me? That's the best way to get it to me. There is right there under the help desk, okay? Second one down, trading questions forum. Several of you are asking about webinars and webinar recording. If you go right here, help desk and forum, trading questions forum. A couple of you said, hey, I joined y'all a little late. Where can I get a recording to catch up? Once you get here to the forum, just scroll down towards the bottom and you'll come to a section right here that says watch webinars here. Right here under newest webinars. That is where I will have this recording put up here in about an hour, and it'll be the first one listed. All right, for those of you tonight that we briefly covered the binary strangles and butterflies. I covered them in detail last week, right here under Monday Nadex webinars, January 25th. You can go if you'd like to and catch up on that webinar as well, and any other webinars there. Okay. Let's see here. Susan says, what is the easiest way to monitor the 5 instruments you mentioned in this webinar? Susan, that's really up to you. I mean, it depends on, kind of your screen space there. I mean, what I personally do when I monitor them, with my charts is I have a chart open, and I kind of downsize one like this. And, if I'm monitoring 4 different markets, I just, pop a chart like that, and I pop another chart like this, and I just kind of monitor them and watch them that way. Where I can kind of see once I get them all organized there, I can kind of, see them all at a glance, just looking at all 4, and watch what's going on. I just set them up this way because I have a couple different monitors. Not everybody has that, so it may not always be easiest for you to do that. But I have them like that, and I'm watching all 4 to kind of see what's going on and see when, okay, hey, when am I approaching the zone, or when does a setup come in? I can kind of see them all at a glance. A lot of our traders that are like in our elite trade room, we have charts posted there, and they can just pop into the room and watch, 10 different charts at once very easily. So, you just have to have the monitor space to be able to do that, or to be able to, even if you only have one monitor, maybe you've got them all there and just downsize, and you're checking in on them and just flipping between charts every so often to see if you're coming close to a trade setup or not. And if you see yourself getting down close to a trade setup, you're pulling it up and seeing which binary spread you might want to choose, getting it ready to pull the trigger, and just waiting for the right setup there. Okay. Let's see here. Brent, how many weeks does the Nadex demo account remain open? New changes to Nadex there. When you open a Nadex demo account now, it stays open for like 30 years or something. Like for a while there, they were giving you like a 2-week free demo, and then you had to request it to be extended. Now, like all demos, once they're extended, are like extended out for like 30 years or something. Basically a lifetime. Okay. Let's see here. Just checking up on a couple questions here. I know a lot of these I got answered by what I just covered there. Let's see here. The form just gives a lot of questions. I could not find my answer to my question. Just said no rules. What is your... Yeah, Woody, if you want to send in a question, yeah, if you just go there, okay, and submit a ticket right here to me, okay, under help desk, submit a ticket. Mark, as a new trader dealing with spreads, I noticed it's a bit pricey to get one contract ATM. How much would you recommend? Well, it just depends on which contracts you're going there with, Mark. Like for example, right now, if I want to, let's say I wanted to do Forex spreads, okay, and so I'm looking at euro dollar, for example, and let's say I want to buy. Well, if I do the daily at the money spread, and I want to buy that one, okay, so I've got to put up 314 bucks, okay. Now, again, don't let that max loss number scare you there. That's your margin. That's what you got to put up to get in that spread, okay. If I go here and look at these, and I'm looking at, see here, 0902, 0905, this middle spread, which is the closest at the money spread there, all I got to do is 66 bucks, okay, and that goes till what, 10 p.m. tonight, okay. That one only cost me, that was only 66 bucks I got to put up. So it really just kind of depends on, am I looking at longer term trends, or am I looking at shorter term trends? You know, I mean, like for example, some of these examples I showed y'all over here, like, you know, on these pound dollar trades. I mean, even at night, you know, I mean, like this trend here, well, that's during the day, but I mean, day or night. I mean, some of these, you know, good little pops are, you know, most of them were less than an hour. You know, I mean, this one at 4 in the morning, it was at 4:30, got out of it at, well, about 6:30. That one lasted a little longer there, but you know, I mean, some of these are really quick, and you know, you don't always have to go all the way till tomorrow at 3 p.m. I mean, right now we've got, like on this particular spread, we've got an hour and a half still. It's only like, you know, $66 to get into it, you know. Now, you know, how long will that trend take? Well, you also have to realize, hey, if I get in that and I buy that and I got to put up $66 and I'm right and the market's moving up and I'm making money, boom, then the spread expires at 10 o'clock. Well, what's going to come out from 10 to 12? Another set of spreads that I can just hop right in again and probably only put up, you know, just a little bit of amount. You know what I mean? So you don't always have to use that daily one. You know what I mean? I mean, like, what is it market at 0904? I can buy it at 0907. It's just 3 ticks different. So that's still an at the money spread there. Okay, or I can go to 11 o'clock, 0905, I can buy it for 0908, just 3 ticks different. You know, I can get in that one and put up $142. Okay, so I don't always necessarily, Mark, have to take that daily one and put up that much more. You know what I mean? So there's some different options there. But keep in mind, even with these shorter term spreads, if you get in them and they're a little, you know, less to get into, and the market is moving your direction, they expire, well, then there's going to be another spread there that takes its place, and you can get in. Okay? Because some people say, oh, I want to have that time longer. Well, when that spread expires, a new one's going to pop up. Okay? Or there will still be other ones here. You can always just get into the next spread. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Charles, you have to go through each one of those, each module at a time before to let you go to the next one, or just answer the quiz questions and it'll let you go through. Like, you don't have to watch the course, but you do have to answer the quiz question to get to the next one there. So, okay, guys, well, we went a little bit over here. I appreciate your time. I hope this helped tonight. Like I said, this wasn't a huge, long, in-depth strategy or systems webinar. This is more helping you change your mentality of, you know, making sure you realize you do have options, even as a part-time trader, just trading a couple of hours, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening. There are various options there for you, whether it be with Nadex Binaries or spreads. And even with very limited time, there's different options for you for volatile, you know, choppy markets, different options for a flat range-bound markets using the butterflies, and even for trend trading, even with those spreads at night trend trading, when you're monitoring a few markets and you're just catching those little moves with spreads, you know, and you're getting 20, 30, 40 bucks, 20, 30, 40 bucks, 20, that adds up, guys. There's plenty of options there for you. And making sure that you're looking at the right markets at the right time, okay? Making sure you're looking at markets that are actually open and active at that time, and making sure that you're being aware of news. One more time, if you're on the Apex site here, go ahead and right here to free tools, news, go to news trading plan. That way you can look and see what news is coming out, know which nights or days you might prefer to trade more when something is going on that might get the market moving there for you. Okay. Sonny says, tuned in late, we'll be looking for a recording. Yep. Again, if you just go right here to forum, trading question forum, and then Sonny, just kind of go down towards the bottom here, watch webinars here, right here, newest webinars. I'll have it posted here in about 30 or 40 minutes at the most. So, okay, guys, I hope that helped. I hope that helps keep you on track there and give you a little bit of insight to help narrow down and focus your limited time. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, we do these webinars every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time for Nadex. So feel free to go back through here under newest webinars to catch up on any webinars you might have missed. And make sure to join us next Monday and each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, don't forget, hop on over to facebook.com/apexinvesting. Like us and follow us on Facebook to stay updated on any new webinars or webinars recording that might be coming out. And make sure that once you are on facebook.com there and you have followed us, make sure or liked us, click liked, go to all posts. That way you get notified of everything coming up. So, okay guys, I'll let you go. Let y'all go and enjoy the